Hey friends, welcome to One Flight Down Basement Beer Tastings and part 3 of the 2023 Pumpkin Beer Showdown!
Happy, happy Halloween, 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 happy, happy Halloween.
One flight down.
Alright, here we go, some more pumpkin beers. Before we jump into that though, I just want to say I'm wearing this shirt today to remind myself, to remind you, if you're not subscribed to Nutmeg 2 Palmetto, you should be, because he does some great beer reviews, great brewtuber, beerfluencer. You got to check out his channel, but especially the video he posted just the other day on a beer called Love Boat. Please check it out. It's tons of fun. And if you watch this show and any other BrewTube shows, you might see some familiar faces in part of that video. Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. But for right now, the important thing is not just for me to tell you to watch Nutmeg 2 Palmetto's channel. No, it's to look at 2 more pumpkin beers. That's right, the Pumpkin Beer Showdown. I have 2 more pumpkin beers here today we're going to check out. The first one, actually, okay, I'm just going to be completely transparent here. A few minutes ago, I started doing the video with 2 beers, and one of them turned out it was not a pumpkin beer. I was duped. It's got like this pumpkin guy here on the can. It's called Whistler Pale Ale. It talks on the side about a cursed garden, a seed of evil. Each Halloween, pumpkin seed sprouts fresh with a new horror. And I know, there you go. It's pumpkin seed. It's pumpkin seed beer. No, it's just that this is like a character named Pumpkin Seed. It's kind of a cool thing. I just didn't get it when I bought the can. Canada Brewing in Winnipeg, Manitoba teamed up with Winnipeg Comic Con, and apparently they've got like a series of cans that tell a little story about this pumpkin seed character. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about the Pumpkin Beer Showdown. So I do have a backup beer for that one because I tried it and it's just a pale ale. There's no pumpkin in there at all. So I've got a replacement in there. There's going to be a weird caveat to that, and we'll check that out in a minute. Well, the first beer, which was one I was going to be taking a look at anyway, from a good Neighbour Brewing Company, Winnipeg, Manitoba, it is called Pumpkin Pie. 4.8% alcohol. And the other one, this one that I got from my buddy Drew at Beer for Breakfast, Facts for Snacks, from the Big Rig Brewery. Where is that located? Somewhere in Ontario, I guess. Big Rig Brewery. Gear down, Big Rig. It's in Kanata, Ontario. This is called Tales from the Patch. It is a pumpkin porter. So here's the thing. I only have 1 can of this, and I can't get it locally. So if this wins, I'm going to have to immediately film the finals, which you'll still air when it's supposed to air. But yeah, it's because I would just have to immediately go into that. So we'll see what happens. I usually like to do my beers lighter to darker, so that's what we'll do here. So I'll save the porter for last. We'll start with the pumpkin pie. As I said, 4.8% alcohol. It is a pale ale brewed with fresh pumpkin, ground nutmeg, and cinnamon, and then topped with a dollop of milk sugar and vanilla. Yeah. Contains lactose. This beer, they did this last year. And Good Neighbor actually did 2 pumpkin beers this year. They did a stout, which was in part 1 of the Pumpkin Beer Showdown. They did not win round 1. But every beer I've had has been amazing. So, yeah, that's... It is what it is. I couldn't win, but it's still a fantastic beer. This one, though, they did last year. And it was actually a finalist. It won the first round of the Pumpkin Beer Showdown last year. It ended up losing out to Paranormal from the Flying Monkeys Brewery, and I have not seen that yet this year. If it comes out, if I come across one, I'll compare this year's winner to that, but yeah, it's nowhere to be found this year. So yeah, so we'll see what happens. So yeah, as I said, I'm going to start with the pumpkin pie. Let's crack it open. Yeah, pour it out and see what we got. Very light color. It just looks kind of like a typical pale ale. It kind of looks like that other one I poured out when I was going to review that, which had no pumpkin flavor at all. If it was supposed to, it's a complete fail. But I mean, it was a fine tasting pale ale. So look at this. It's really light in color, quite hazy, nice, fluffy kind of a head on there. Let's check it out on the nose. Oh man. Oh yeah. So I get a little bit of cinnamon. I get like the spices, like the nutmeg and that kind of thing. And I think I even get a little bit of that lactose on the nose. Like I get just a little bit that like a creaminess coming through on the nose. All right, let's go in for a sip. Cheers. Man. Okay. So this is not pumpkin beer. This is a pumpkin pie. That is exactly what this tastes like. It is creamy. Oh, and the flavors are just coming in waves. Wow. It's a lighter body than I would normally associate with a pumpkin beer. It's quite unique in that way. Man, it is just like, yeah, like the creaminess. It's kind of the first thing I get. Just like a wave of flavors. You get the creaminess and then the pumpkin, and then it kind of finishes with the like the nutmeg, cinnamon, and then I get another wave of the creaminess. That is like just such a good beer. Man, oh, that is fantastic. Yeah, that is a damn good beer. It's going to be tough to beat. Now moving on to Big Rig Brewery's Tales from the Patch Pumpkin Porter. This is 5.8% alcohol. A cornucopia of spices and creamy milk sugar were added into this chocolate-hued porter to make it good. It is, it's like homemade pumpkin pie with whipped cream, but better because it's beer. Did we mention this crazy can glows in the dark? Turn off the lights and enjoy. Well, I wasn't going to do this video in the dark, but I did check it out, and it does glow in the dark, and it's really cool. Ooh. Yeah, I'm excited to try this out. I didn't plan to have two pumpkin pie beers going up against each other, so this is going to be interesting. So it pours out nice and dark. Yeah, it's a porter. It looks like kind of a typical porter. Yeah, it's pretty darn dark. And you get that bit of a tan-colored head on the top. I'm oddly not getting much on the nose. The other one was so strong on the nose. Yeah, that's strange. I don't know why that is, but I'm hoping it makes up for that in taste. Cheers, everybody. I get the cinnamon really strong in that. Must be nutmeg is too. Nutmeg too, right? That would not nutmeg too. I get a bit of nutmeg in there as well. Yeah, I get the spices more than anything else. The pumpkin's there. I don't get the creaminess as much as I did in the other one, I don't think. Okay, second sip. Yeah, I do get the creaminess. It's not up front. So that the creaminess seems to be a little more subdued, but it's there. A little bit of a pumpkin taste, but really heavy on the pumpkin, like the spices, like I said, the cinnamon, nutmeg, that kind of thing. That is also a really nice beer. Very different from the others. So both these are pumpkin pie beers, but completely different takes on that. I'm going to go back to the Good Neighbor for a second. Like, I get way more pumpkin in the Good Neighbor. Way more pumpkin. Like, I get the spices and stuff too, but those are more subdued here. And like this one, it's like really heavy, like especially the cinnamon. Okay, these are both fantastic beers. I love the can art on this. Like, if you want to buy something to celebrate the Halloween season, that's the can art you want. And that is a rich beer. It's really, really good. If you like cinnamon and spices and that kind of thing, yeah, you really like this beer. But I've got to give the edge to the Good Neighbor. All right, so next week, the finals of this year's Pumpkin Beer Showdown. Good Neighbor's Pumpkin Pie will be going up against Torque Brewing's Witching Hour and Bob Cajun's Pumpkin Spice Latte. Yeah, these are, I think this one here was a really tight race with the other Good Neighbor, and these two were more sort of clear winners of their rounds. Not to say the other beers weren't good, but just in terms of, like, you know, you're a pumpkin beer. There's certain things I want out of a pumpkin beer. Number one is to taste the pumpkin. So yeah, really excited to go in next week and do a head-to-head battle between these three beers. Thank you all for dropping by the Terry Isle Basement Pub. We'll see you all again next week. Cheers.
I'm tired and I need to go home.